Where Winds Meet is a free-to-play open-world action RPG, so obviously it's gonna be complete stinky poo-poo. I went in expecting to take a huge liquid shit all over it, and after 30 hours, it's actually... I don't know, I think I like it. Upon entering the world of Where Winds Meet, questions flooded my mind. Where is the wind, and where does it meet? I intended to find out. With sponsored videos like this, it's important to establish some transparency. I tried the game first before accepting this offer, so I had already decided it was good enough for a video by that point. I have not been given a script, so I'll be treating this like a regular video where I talk about whatever I want and make fun of things, all the usual stuff. They did ask me to mention the new update, but I'd have done that anyway. That's basically it. There was a shocking lack of direction, so I'm interpreting this as creative freedom. If they force me to remove any jokes, I'll cry. First order of business, we have to make our character. I put a screenshot of my OC Chonklord into the face scanning thing to see if it can replicate him. I don't think that's quite right. Oh no, I'll have to make a super attractive, beautiful, pretty girl instead. This sucks. There are multiple difficulty modes, and I picked Legend because it's nice when games crush my ovaries between their fingers, signified by an epic gamer health bar. This makes fights even in the overworld a genuine threat. Or maybe I just suck, I don't know. That's so awesome, that's so... Why does he have a fucking shotgun? You can contract diseases, and I even got a brain injury after some chud domed me on the head. So starting out, that's what I thought this red thing over my health bar meant. One of my friends has like 90 hours in this game, so I asked him if I accidentally contracted an STD without realizing. That doesn't make any sense though. How would a gamer be in a position to contract an STD? Once that was cleared up, we started roaming around together in multiplayer. Thank you, One Direction YN. What's your favorite Wattpad?
I actually like One Direction X The Purge.
Backshot time. Bitch.
How the fuck did you get away with that? Everybody was looking right at you. You can give this man back shots. He's sliding around. Or you can absolutely... How the fuck did you do that?
I spammed it. I used the lag.
Wow, Ruby actually sounds kind of like a child in the Chinese version.
Yeah, I thought the Chinese voice acting was okay.
In the American version, she's 12 going on 30.
Yeah, I feel like over here we're really bad at child voices.
When it's literally just a 30-year-old woman pretending to be a child, yeah.
Oh, I just killed the dude's horse.
This isn't very Umamusume coded. Treasure Goblin will jump out and immediately try to grab your gooch. So, like, dodge.
What? I have my shield up, it's fine.
I've never seen someone parry him when he tries to go into the ground like that. That's crazy.
Oh, got his ass.
You legitimately cooked him. Like, on my screen, you killed him on the cook pot.
Oh wow, what a surprise. I picked the big fuck-off sword as my main weapon. The Mo Blade lets you face tank and is great for dealing with groups, but I quickly found it to be far better as a support option. You can cast your shield, then swap to your DPS weapon, and it'll remain active. The Mo Blade swings really slowly, but you can animation cancel whenever you want with a parry, so it's like a greatsword without the downsides of a greatsword. It definitely parries slower than other weapons though, which means you have to rely on blocking more. For faster enemies, I prefer the longsword. Next order of business, we need to acquire a horse. Not because I want to go faster, but because they are my favorite animal. I find an innocent passerby and play an early demo of GTA 6, but when I went to summon it, my horse was replaced by this ugly green chud. If I was 13 years younger, this sort of thing would have made me burst into tears. Good thing I'm 23 and able to maintain composure in these trying times. In the appearance tab, I could change my horse into whichever of the skins I politely borrowed from generous strangers, and everything was fixed before I could devolve into a sobbing mess. Behold, dear viewer, the epitome of environmental storytelling. A single goose standing before the graves of several other players. Unlike these fools, however, I would never be bested by. At the beginning, it's easy to run into areas above your level, so if you want to be challenged right away, just wander around aimlessly and the cock and ball torture squad will find you on their own. The main quest provides a general guideline in a non-linear world, but there are level requirements at certain points, so exploration is still a necessity. Right away, you can try fighting a world boss just by stumbling across one. Bum rushing the main quest is generally a bad idea, since exploration gives you rewards, skills, and materials for upgrades. Make sure to chase down all those book icons because I didn't and wound up missing a whole bunch of stuff that might have been useful. Where Winds Meet has deemed to grace us with some truly exemplary glitches and bugs, whether it be soaring through the air after a mysterious force pushes you off a platform, or getting motion sickness from a rogue camera. It even had a life-changing impact on my exploration experience. I found a house off in the corner with a hole leading to a mysterious white void, except it vanished when I turned the camera, a clever play on our sense of perception. I descended the ladder and entered an empty cavern, populated solely by messages from other curious players. Proceeding further into the cavern, I was bombarded by a mysterious indoor sandstorm and teleported to the wuxia backrooms. All things considered, it was a memorable exploration experience. When you're trying out one of these free-to-play RPG games, there are certain expectations going in, or in this case, lack thereof. The combat and exploration will probably be pretty okay, that's usually how these things go, but the last thing I expect is for the writing to also be okay. Undeniable proof that I have started growing up is that I now care about stories in video games. I used to be one of those edgelords who'd say, story and art don't matter in games. If I wanted a good story, I'd read a book. Gameplay undoubtedly takes top priority, but saying that story and art are irrelevant is very sad. It's easy to appreciate good gameplay and it'll make you keep coming back, but what joy is there in exploring a world you don't give a shit about? The writing is honestly not that bad. I promise my family isn't being held hostage and I'm not forced to say this. It's good enough that I struggled to believe it and wondered if I was missing something. Was I hallucinating a competent story? But no, this is just a pretty solid wuxia narrative. I enjoy sitting through the cutscenes, the shock and horror. It's actually the dialogue that I think is the best part of the writing as a whole. I like watching NPCs yap at each other more than the plot itself. Why? Because it's kind of funny. Since I'm not a chud, I switch the voiceovers to Chinese right away, and even random no-name NPCs you meet only once will have really charming performances. As a custom character, I was not expecting the player to be given any semblance of personality. You were given enough character here that I'm surprised we don't play as a preset protagonist. They're an inexperienced, naive, aspiring hero with a negative 5 billion aura, and every NPC they come across mogs them. One day, we too will become hype moments and aura farming man. Just not quite yet. My eyeballs are very fatigued by hyper-realistic graphics in video games. I assumed going in that Where Winds Meet would be plagued by those same uninspired stylistic decisions, but I was decisively told to shut the fuck up by the art team. They use this crazy thing called color, and it makes things look interesting. They even do the unthinkable and put color in trees and the sky. Amazing. The game knows it looks pretty too since there's a photo mode. So the horse POV was a narrative masterpiece. After Clip-Clop's owner dies, you start playing as him, galloping across the map and retracing the path you took through the main quest. He then arrives before the player and becomes your steed. How do they expect me to want to buy mount skins when Clip-Clop is the best character in the entire game? The gambling designers are very bad at their job. This time, the sponsor held a gun to my head and demanded that I use the brand new weapon they added, the Hongdao, or Heng Blade. Since I only started playing like 3 days ago, my weapon movesets haven't been fully unlocked, but there are guides that show off its full potential far better than I can on my fresh account. When you parry, you can press heavy attack to perform like a counter slash thing, I don't know. Your general rotation will consist of this Virgilar looking skill that buffs your 3 input combo skill and applies a debuff. The fast swings and high stagger lets you stun lock enemies quite easily in most situations. With how responsive the parry windows are for the Heng Blade, I would have mained it regardless of having a gun to my head or not. This weapon carried me throughout the entire second map. As always, the environments are visually stunning, with clear, solid art direction, and even the city itself has some amazing vistas. Farming bosses can be tiring, so I scraped a whole layer of skin from my knees on the cave floor to instantly kill it, but this is not what the slide is most useful for. NPC merchants have the audacity to take breaks and not revolve their entire existence around the player by refusing to sell goods on specific government-mandated holidays, but with my epic knee slide, they're willing to forfeit their workers' rights and reopen the shop. I'd recommend any Chinese history autist give Where Winds Meet a look, but chances are they already have. There's references to Chinese history all throughout the game, especially in the Huxi region, which is then emphasized even further in the newest Liangzhou area. The first act had a pretty decent plot, although the dialogue is what carried it for me, but the Liangzhou melody and Paper Moon main quest lines focus more on thematic storytelling, like how your home isn't inherently tied to your cultural background, and in Paper Moon we take a break from high-octane wuxia action to focus on feelings and emotions, really scary stuff. Media literacy, oh, spooky. The Liangzhou melody is about a musician on a journey to find his roots. He meets the spirits of past musicians along the way and realizes that he'd already long since found his true home. The references to Tang Dynasty traditional music will trigger the history buffs in chat like a sleeper agent activation phrase. Paper Moon's story is a bit more abstract. Like its title, it focuses on the fragile, transient emotions of two girl besties.
你是女娘，现在我的法术生效了吗？月亮能将你快活，我把它摘给你。我已经有一个月亮了，到了长安，我至少有一个月亮。它是智者的，那也是我的月亮。你要收回去吗？它永远是你的。可是这月亮的法力不够，它保护不了你的眼睛。
Historians will say that they were the bestest friends ever. Going from the deserts of Huxi to the snowlands of Liangzhou nearly slapped my neck in half from the whiplash. This is the newest map that's been added, and I was asked to kill a boss I am probably severely underprepared for. Apparently the boss here is dangerous. I probably won't be able to beat her. My account is so mid. A lot of people died here. I also have like bone stress or something. Yeah, I've got bone stress. I'm too lazy to get a doctor though. Whatever. We'll just view this as a debuff to make things more challenging. Alright, I don't know what she does. She does that. Oh, okay, 2. Alright, you're parrying twice. I'm nearly dead. Whoa! Yikes. Okay. Yeah, she's tanky. I'm not very strong. Oh my god, okay, that was a lot of damage, never mind. Okay, do I just like dodge a shockwave? Yeah, okay. I've never seen that before, okay. First time she's done that. Oh, nailed it, okay. What the hell is this? Oh. Yeah, okay. Can I jump over it? Oh, I can. Okay. Alright, second phase. Definitely gonna die. Girl, chill. So I charge by parrying, I think? No. I got it. Cool. Whee! I love all you did it. Hold on. I should probably leave one of those. You did it. You are the greatest gamer ever. When I first started playing Where Winds Meet, I took my time exploring, dicking around with friends, then I realized, oh shit, this is a sponsored video and I have a deadline, and began rushing through the main story. As a result, my character soon felt very weak since I wasn't farming upgrade materials. Playing on Legend didn't help in that regard. The moral of the story is to explore the open world in an open world game, and don't rush through content. Shocking, I know. On high difficulties, the scaling may feel quite harsh for some players, and trying to keep your equipment and skills up to date can get tedious. There's a lot of stuff you need to upgrade, unlock, and farm, so unless you play on a lower difficulty, chances are you'll fall behind if you don't stay on top of things. Where Winds Meet made me feel old. I'm a 23-year-old senior citizen. My degraded, elderly mind can't keep up with the billions of different mechanics. But if I didn't have a deadline and could play at my own pace, even an early 20s granny like me would have had a good time slowly figuring out the game. There are countless minigames, skills, equipment upgrades, martial arts to unlock across the map. It's a lot. When you've got an open world game paired with live service elements, this is bound to happen. Where Winds Meet can be an outlet for sweatlords to push their numbers as high as possible, or just a casual solo experience for the typical player. When a game is free to play, that obviously means they acquire money through other sources. Yeah, it's microtransactions. I scoured the entire store and everything there looked to be cosmetic only, though I did end up spotting some paid amounts with unique buffs. Just make sure to spend responsibly if you do decide to whip out your mum's credit card. Paid fashion will have you looking like the holy divine goddess of microtransactions, but I personally prefer the rugged vibe of the free clothing options. Acting and looking like a homeless person but with a full face of makeup is the core wuxia protag experience. Grinding for these can still take weeks, which gives you something to work towards, but I also just really want the Grey Wolf outfit now, please don't make me farm 8 weeks for it. Either way, it's easy to treat this game like your typical single player RPG. In fact, there's a mode specifically for it. You can even customize how much is shown to you on the minimap, with options ranging between Slop open world checklist core or minimalist find everything yourself naturally. The environment is quite interactable, and thanks to signposts created by other players, you can immediately learn the solution to a puzzle without googling, or just ignore the message entirely if you wish to figure it out on your own. After the newest update, I've somehow managed to avoid any crashes. All the footage you've seen has been on maxed out graphics settings, and the frame rate had been pretty good. You know what, let's just go over performance. In the first region, I was genuinely impressed with the frame rate and didn't notice any particularly sharp drops. My PC is pretty beefy, but open world games have had notoriously poor performance for decades. So I was kind of shocked that Where Winds Meet actually ran quite well with no weird blurriness. Then I made my way to Kaifun. It was playable, but both crowded cities and sparse wilderness simply didn't run as well as the first region. The third map, Hushi, and by extension Liangzhou, were noticeably better at least. I haven't had any major issues there. Desert sand and snow textures paired with much fewer NPCs are probably to thank for the better performance. Good thing the game is free, so if you're not quite as lucky performance wise, there's no need to worry about getting a refund. So what's the verdict? After 30 hours of gameplay, swapping to the Heng Blade, fighting the bosses in the new Liangzhou region, and exploring the wuxia backrooms was definitely the highlight of the game. But was I able to find out where the winds meet in Where Winds Meet? No, but you might if you click my link in the description to download the game for free. I don't know why people sponsor me, I'm really bad at this.